Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. Didn't upload anything yesterday because there was just not so much going on, but during the night we got a bit of a drop in the Asian session, and the big question is, was this it? Are we going lower or are we going higher? It is a little bit of a make or break moment, not only for BTC but also for ETH, so we're right away going to look at scenarios, targets and possible trades for both the assets. If you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share the video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, those links are also in the description. As I said, we had a bit of a drop for BTC right now, trading around 22,400-ish, and I said it already many times, I do not want to see these lows here being taken out, because if we're really starting to close daily candles underneath this low, then you're really having a change of market structure, and then it's to be expected that once we created the low, the next move up will be a lower high, and then we are going lower again, and like I said, then you really have a change of market structure. Whole bull scenario is then off the table. Already drew a fib from the current point, but then of course we need to redraw it a little bit more to the downside, where then the candle would end. So somewhere here, and then you could also say, you know what, if we then go up, then we're right away kind of testing these highs again, maybe take liquidity and then to go lower. So this is a little bit of a negative bearish scenario. Also, if we would go up from here, there is still so much resistance above us. Also, the golden pocket from this moment measured on is at 24,000, 24,100, and it also lines up with the value area high. You could nicely take out the liquidity here, but then right away bouncing into that resistance. Also, something that is pretty negative right now is that we are trading underneath the value area low. So not only is then this resistance, but we also have the value area low as resistance. We have here this yellow support and resistance line, that is the top here from September, that comes in as resistance. Then I also draw out the monthly open, so that is the monthly open for March, that is resistance. And then of course the golden pocket and the value area high. So we have quite the resistance ahead of us. One thing that's actually nice to see is that this yellow line right here, where we're now finding support, are the lows from this region right here, and really the lows from this area where we were trading for a while once we swept it here and then went higher. And now you can see again, even a few weeks later, it comes in nicely as support. Is there also something good here about this situation? What I can tell you, well, two things. One, we could potentially, but this is very premature right now, is say, well, maybe we are creating a bullish divergence, but then we really want to see price kind of holding right here and then move higher. If we are dropping lower, then this momentum wave will also go much deeper, and then that scenario is off the table. If that happens, then of course it will be nice. Usually on the 4 hour you are getting some kind of a move from that. The only thing that's now very much against this idea is that the money flow is very deep in the red, same as for the momentum waves, and the RSIs are coming a little bit together, pointing downwards. So in the worst case scenario, we have still some move to the downside to go. And also what I actually don't really like is that this move happened on a Friday. So bigger players, they liquidate their positions. They're going out of the market. They don't want to have any exposure during the weekend because low volatility. They don't want to be a weak target. And therefore sometimes you see a little bit of a sell-off on Friday. Quickly had a peek at the futures in the United States. Those are also right now slightly in the red. There's another nice thing actually about this drop, and that has to do with the monthly open. When we opened the monthly candle, so on the 1st of March, we right away went higher. Therefore, the monthly candle had no wick to the downside. And a nice candle or a good candle has a wick to the downside and to the upside. And with this move down, we finally made that wick to the downside. So if we go higher from here, we already had that. And it's nice that it comes a little bit early in the month, because if we just start pumping up right away from the beginning of the monthly open and then just pump for 1 or 2 weeks straight, usually I counter trade that to open up a short, because like I said, most of the candles have a wick to the downside. So it is to be expected that you then retrace all the way to create a wick and then to go higher. But if you are a bull, it is nice that this wick now suddenly comes in the first few days of the month. Then you had that, it's over with, and then you can march higher. But of course, then we still need to see the bulls picking up, and we need to see more strength in the market. If we are going lower, like I said already, I actually do not want to see this taking out. If that happens, we do still have some support and resistance underneath us, but then it already becomes ugly quite fast. A wick is okay, but I really want to see a quick buyback. And once we return, let's say this will become the base and we're going higher, then of course my major eye will be on that golden pocket. But like I said, we still have quite some resistance ahead of us, so it might be a very bumpy road to get there. Also saw that the funding rate right now is becoming quickly very negative on BTC, so the shorts are piling up. Then quickly let's head over to ETH. Looks a little bit better. We are right now, while I'm recording this, just trading above the value area low of the volume profile. Above the volume profile. Let's extend this a little bit. That's a little bit better visible. So that looks good. On Bybit, so not on this chart, but on the Bybit chart, measured from the low to the high, we hit the 78.6 to the exact dollar here for ETH. Actually, I have to put it like this, and then the candle was a little bit deep, and it was really to the exact dollar that we hit the 78.6. So that's actually nice to see that then right away came in as support. Also, what is actually nice to see is that we had this channel draw out, and I said already earlier this week, oh, don't like it anymore because you have this period of time here underneath, and this is a little bit ugly. But if I extend it a little bit, then you can see this candle and this candle has been exactly resistance into that channel. So that's of course not a coincidence. It's nice to see that even later on that still plays out as a very nice resistance, and therefore support flipped into resistance once you break it. And that's just actually how easy it is. Also here, same kind of scenario. If we want to go higher, then of course we want to see this bull div hold. We could go a little bit lower here for ETH, but not a lot. But that is then really the first signal. Again, also here Friday, same kind of story. Not very ideal that it happened on Friday. Money flow lower, view up lower, RSI is pointing lower, so that looks very bearish. I'm afraid that later on today, that when New York opens, that there will be a further sell-off. And also here, I would say, although the chart looks a little bit different than BTC, I also don't want to see these lows taking out, because once you do that, create then that lower low, then it's just waiting for a lower high, change of market structure, and the whole bull scenario is off the table again, and then we can really aim for the lows again. That will be pretty bad. Also, if we're going up from here, same kind of story. Also with the golden pocket, nicely lines up with a high that we have here. And that would also of course now be resistance again. So if we are then going higher, it also is the golden pocket and that support and resistance line here at the 1675, and just above us we have the value area high at approximately 1690. So also here quite a hurdle to take, and also intermediate we here have the point of control underneath us. Let's say we are really breaking lower, but we are making a higher low slightly, then we could say, you know what, we are taking this support and resistance line that I already have in there for quite a long time. That is just shy of 1500, but it also coincides just a few dollars of the 38.2 on the FIB retracement. That is all the way measured from the absolute top to the absolute bottom, and that actually will also be a very nice support. On the bull side, not so super nice, because you're kind of almost completely retracing the move to the upside, so you're kind of missing strength, but you are in theory making a higher low. One thing I still want to show you on BTC, and then we are winding it up. One thing I saw on Twitter coming by that I actually kind of like is that it looks like we're making this kind of broadening channel for BTC, where we have our bottom support line, and then here on the top our resistance, and you see it looks a bit then like a trumpet. This actually would be very nice if it holds, because I'm also here, yes, we almost completely retraced the entire move up, but we're still having a higher low, although it's slightly, and therefore it misses bull momentum. It still is a higher low, and we maintain market structure, and also this channel or trumpet, however you want to call it. Not something I will trade actively. Of course, I need more look at the indicators and to the smaller time frames and what they're telling me. But sometimes, just like we saw at the channel for ETH, you can see even much further in time it can still held up as a support or resistance. And I would only switch very bearish if we start breaching these lows and start closing daily candles underneath this low. That will be super bearish. Just for your information, that is 21,500-ish. Alright guys, that will be it for now. Please be careful, don't jump into right away a long or a short. I am afraid that early longers will get wrecked with another retest to the downside. And if we suddenly get a bit of a move up, then I think also the late shorters will get wrecked. So it might be a little bit choppy today. Like I said, don't really like it this weekend, but I will keep an eye on it. And of course, I will also update you on Twitter. If you like this kinds of quote-unquote emergency updates, then please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share the video with your friends if you think it's useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the description. See you guys very, very soon again in the next one. Bye-bye.